The issue of poetry is interesting because, as with music, it can possess us in a way that sometimes can be idolatrous. Sometimes with a very catchy tune, for instance, it kind of takes you over. You go to sleep and the tune's in your head. You wake up next morning and you're still thinking of the tune. And that's not spiritually terribly healthy. And similarly, you can become totally intoxicated by words and by a poem that takes you away from what those words are actually directing you to. So there have to be limits. And Islamic civilization ultimately is a religion of sahwa, of sobriety. It's about a kind of festive dignity, as somebody described. The Muslim is a person of festive dignity. He's always cheerful and enjoying life, but he's dignified, and the way he dresses and the way he is sober. He doesn't overstep the boundaries. But the concept of verse in Islamic civilization is that it is that great mediator between ordinary factual discourse and saying things that describe the world and uttering things that are about the unutterable and the ineffable. It forms a kind of bridge. And that's why the content of God's speech itself has that kind of musicality, and why tajweed, the formal recitation of God's word, to somebody who hasn't heard it before, they say, that's amazing music. I do this with my students sometimes. They don't know what they're about to hear. I come into the lecture and just put on some Moroccan or somebody reciting the Quran, and immediately you see their body language change. They stop messing around. They've no idea what it is. But the impact of the word has that effect, even if they can't understand a word of it. And poetry, real sacred poetry, can have that impact. It's not wahi, it's not revelation, it's the product of human composition. But nonetheless, it can make us shape up in that extraordinary sacred way, which is what Imam Busiri was doing.